welcome back to part 3 of An Old Man Plays Masquerada, Songs and Shadow. Been thinking about the game. It's
I knew the Fae problem was bad, but even here...
We already had this last time.
It's related to why we came to find you, actually.
The Fae?
This is not the first of its kind that I've encountered. And I have a theory as to how and where they're spawning.
I'm all ears.
One thing at a time. I'll tell you what we've learned about the Fae after we get the books, if that's all right with you.
As much as I'd like to know now, I suppose my curiosity can wait. I can bring you to the books they were looking for, but they took all our Mascherines, tossed them to the lower levels. If there are more Fae out there...
We'll handle them.
So yeah, I was thinking about this game in between playing it.
The wounded have been healed.
And they're all cut loose.
Then let's go. We'll find the books and clear a way for the Vigilus as well.
And it's quite low on... this is a dead end, I take it. Yep, okay. Not sure where it actually wants me to go.
The first 2 books are on this level.
Okay, there we go. These are things that we had last time. Obviously, it's a checkpoint-based save system, so it thinks they're new again.
Hold your ground!
Yeah, I think we'll play those guys there. Yeah, it's a checkpoint-based system, and then in terms of the game, it's, I mean, you know, there's not much capacity to get lost in this game.
Is this it?
It is. It's a compilation of folk tales that we believe the Dementicati had once told.
That is incredibly thick.
What would Raz want with folk tales?
We'll have time to figure it out later. We should get the other 2.
Apart from the combat, you don't make a lot of choices. You just go to where the next checkpoint is, hit E on something. I mean, you do character building. You know, pick stats for your characters.
Justice will blind you. Yeah, like, you know, it's almost like a visual novel in that you just click E when you find the thing you need. Like, you move around maps, and that makes it feel more interactive than a visual novel generally does. But yeah, the actual gameplay tends to be very straightforward. It's just, you know, follow it to the next checkpoint.
All right. Are we near it?
It's right here. This is a book about Dementicati history. It chronicles the Empire's expansion of territory.
That's huge.
Your Regenti was interested in ancient people, it seems.
But why?
We'll get the last one, and hopefully we'll find our answers.
It's upstairs.
Let's go.
Right. And I now know that it's Dementicati, not Dementicate. It suddenly occurred to me I should actually look at what my skill point situation is.
Everyone's just got one unspent. I'm happy to leave that then.
Here they come! Hurry!
This is the boss, obviously.
I don't have much left.
Can I find him? Go.
Is that the last of them?
I hope so.
I certainly hope your theories about the Fae will explain that to me.
I'm hoping they do too. But again, let us find the last book first.
I recognized its spine while you were fighting the creature.
And its size, no doubt.
Tides. Of all the books we had to collect, it had to be the 3 biggest ones.
Inspectore, if it's your plan to go through each...
I don't think we have any other choice.
Even with a pair of eyes on each volume, it'll take you at least a week to get through them.
Worse still, we don't even know what we're looking for.
Hold on. I need a moment to think.
Cicero, what if we tried to...
By myself, please. All right, Raz. Give me something. Yes. Right. Power. Creating power. Using it to expand. Anything that smacks of strength or supremacy.
Inspectore,
I said I'd like to be alone, Marshal.
are you all right?
I will be if you give me a second.
All right. I'll see you with the others then.
Thought long enough?
Yes, I have.
You have an idea on how to get us through the tomes then?
I do, in fact. Follow me.
It's very
I had my book with me and I don't know where it is.
Cicero, why are you keeping them here? They're agitated enough about what happened.
Just a moment, Kyrie, please. I apologize for the delay. I understand how uncomfortable it must be standing here, but there is a final request that I have for you. I am looking for information within this book, as well as within the 2 my colleagues are carrying. I do not have the luxury of time to sift through its contents, and I implore you to lend me your assistance for just a few moments in this endeavor.
Cicero, they might be Vegelist, but that doesn't mean they can cover 1,000 pages in one...
Inspectore!
Take it. Books can be repaired, rewritten. Time cannot. Mariner, Marshal, perhaps you'd like to cover your eyes, Kyrie. And maybe your ears. Now, you're searching for anything that hints at great power. Undefeated leaders, huge swaths of land claimed, rebellions quelled in a day.
Inspectore, I think I found something.
Go on.
I'm looking at a timeline of the Dimenticate's history of expansion. There was a specific point in time after which they began furiously claiming land.
And what point is that?
It's referred to as Aechian Sun, of the year of Noir.
Good. Everyone else, keep that in mind.
Something else, sir.
Yes?
It's a religious text about some godsend that the Dimenticati were supposedly blessed with.
Go on.
They're referred to here as the knife, the seed, and the heart.
They're here as well. Says that they changed the very face of the Mendicate society, allowed them to start winning wars.
It would fit the timeline.
Excellent. The knife, the heart, and the seed. Remember those names.
Something more, sir. From a story. It's about where they came from. These were flesh of the god himself, from the marrow of our father's bone. They were presented to us in steepled fingers of stone.
Good, good. Now, does anyone have anything on what exactly they were? How they functioned, what they did? It was worth a try. Is there anything else anyone deems important? Well, I suppose that's it then. Thank you all for your cooperation. You're quite free to leave when you're ready.
That was a smart move, Inspectore. Disrespectful to paper hearts, but smart.
And desperation breeds innovation.
And your search criteria were conveniently accurate.
A hunch. If mask runners were searching for something, what else would it be but power?
So, now what?
Now, recollection. The mask runners knew about the numbers certainly from Razatov.
Razatov?
They have him. Captured him. For what I now suspect to be his research.
The knife, seed, and heart.
What do they do, exactly? All we understand is that they were the key to the Dimenticate's power. But how?
I'm sure we'll soon find out. If the mask runners have captured Razatov and are now looking for books that involve them...
They're after the artifacts.
And so are we. It's our best bet at finding Razatov.
Then we have to beat them to it.
We can start by paying the Cleaver a visit.
I don't recognize the name.
In steepled fingers of stone. There is only one place that is conjured from that imagery. A set of ruins in Cacciatore territory called the Cleaver.
But that quote was from a story.
And if you have stronger leads, Mariner, I suggest you lay them out, please.
You're right. I apologize.
Now, if that's all...
One last thing, Cicero.
Ah, yes, the Fae. Of course. I'll meet you at the coach. Right. So, about the Fae. I have a theory that they're related to the mists, and summoning them requires a ritual of some sort that involves blood and loose articles. Papers, books, anything that can be used as a physical building block for a form.
Case note 6. In the Conoscenza, we encountered mask runners dressed as Portieri who'd taken the Vegelus hostage. I dislike intensely the trajectory of this investigation. The less this has to do with the mask runners, the better I feel. Anyway, the mask runners must have obtained the uniforms through the Quiet Order. One of the registry's uniform houses was located there. And although their presence in the investigation might make me uncomfortable, I cannot deny it has put us on a better path. I'm going to cough, excuse me for a second. They had been asking about specific books about Dimenticate history, books that must have been what Razatov had been after during his trips to the Conoscenza and what had informed his subsequent research. The books, which we found with the aid of Carey, speak of ancient artifacts called the Knife, Seed, and Heart, and though I cannot let the others know just yet, I believe these artifacts were intimately linked to the creation of the Mascherines. I think that was pretty obvious. In the meantime, they would just have to accept that Razatov had been on a quest to understand how the Dimenticate came into power. The books also spoke of a place referred to as the Steeple Fingers of Stone. I believe this is a reference to a set of ancient ruins called the Cleaver, and though I'm not sure if we'll find there, I do believe it leads to more answers. In the meantime, Kari has promised to further investigate the creation of Fae. I've told her all I know and all I suspect, and she's excited about testing the hypothesis. Because it's gone so well for everybody who's done it so far.
Fae
there you are.
Well, I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
I need to return to my court.
That was quick.
I feel the Judge Master would want to know that one of the Registry's members was seeking artifacts of great power.
I don't suppose there's anything I can do to talk you out of it.
You suppose correctly.
In that case, I should at least thank you for your assistance today. It's good to know the bright chorus is still alive in the hearts of some.
Well, I suppose you're welcome. I will see you soon, Inspectore.
The whole time, you've been so polite.
I may not enjoy politics, but let this be a lesson to you, Mariner. If you cannot kill a spy, then you do just as well to befriend them. Come on, we have ruins to investigate.
I need to do
So exciting, isn't it, sister?
too.
What?
We're going to the ruins.
I hope you know we're not actually going to go follow them inside.
What?
You'll not miss much, anyway.
Not a fan of ruins, sir.
Hate them. For my creditor, I scored the worst for the section about ruins and archaeology.
Why's that?
Well, for one, when I'd been...
When you'd been...
Not again, Calden.
Come on.
When I'd been Contadani, before I joined the registry, I used to spend a lot of time along the highways. There were a pair of vigilists that came by every morning on their way to the White Spire who would talk about ruins and interesting finds. And every time I listened to them, walking in their fancy robes, all I could think was, why do they have so much energy for the dead when the living still suffer? Now look what you've done, Mariner. You made me kill the mood.
Oh, please don't say that, sir. That was, lighted and enlightening. Yes, enlightening.
He means thank you, sir.
We'll be back soon.
We'll be here.
A word, Mariner,
Something the matter?
about what happened on the coach.
The twins seem to appreciate.
Stop it. Now, I know you mean well. You think getting me to talk about my past will help me get over it. It won't. I've spent the past 5 years burying the man that abandoned his brother and fled the city. Stop trying to bring him back. Is that clear?
But you...
Is that clear, Mariner?
As the belt, sir.
Good. Now, come on.
Leave me to my man pain. The cleaver, few runes, and ombre are as mysterious as the cleaver. Jagged protrusions from the soil that form its earthen canopy are clearly unnatural. Considering the availability of Mascherines, it would be sensible to assume that the outcrop was constructed with an intention in mind and by a wielder of a Masquerine. But geologists and earthbrands alike have ascertained after years of scrutiny that the formations that comprise the cleaver were not brought into existence with the aid of magic. How then did the monument that shelters beneath come into being, and what could have had the ability to wrench the innards of the earth so violently to summon it? These questions had once been at the forefront of the minds of the Vigilists, until the ward that the ruins belonged to, the Shattered Stone, was handed over to the care of the Cacciatori. Since then, few expeditions have been sent. So I've told Cold North I'd enjoy such activities, but I do what is best for the investigation. I only hope he doesn't take it too harshly. He is a good healer. Her stalwartness in performing her duties again is a source of problems in the near future. That much I can say with certainty. Tiziana is too committed to her guild. Nothing I say or do seems to rattle her allegiance to it. Perhaps if we learn how she came to be the unflinching Imperial Marshal that she is, or identify the winds that sway the sails of her heart, then I might begin to construct a path to unravel her loyalties. Toying with the allegiances of others is not a favourite pastime of mine, but I won't be the first to admit its usefulness in situations like this. There must be some way I can shake this undaunted bastion. And why not just, like, let the truth speak for itself, really?
Steepled fingers of stone.
I wonder what we'll find.
Faye.
Hopefully something that leads us closer to...
Can you hear that?
See what I mean?
Yourself.
Probably actually level up my abilities while I'm here. She'll be back, it seems. Which is this one? This is the damage reduction by 10 and threat generation by 20. Oh, no, won't let me because I'm currently in combat. Fine. Huh.
It seems we rushed here for nothing.
Surely you didn't think Inspettori Gavar. I'd assumed you'd taken root somewhere across the belt.
That I had, until those roots dried up and shriveled.
You're brave, stepping into Cacciatore territory without permission.
I'd like to think the desperate cries of your men were permission enough.
Huh. Already you cultivate words for posturing.
Forgive me. It slipped my mind how indisposed the Cacciatore are towards the nuances of politics.
Why are you here?
I need to know if this ward has seen visitors from the White Spire recently.
Should you not be seeking that answer in a mirror?
One of our own is missing. It was acting clandestinely.
And you spurned the Green Guild for straying from politics. See what they do to your own.
Please, Rex, answer the question.
There has been one recently, from what my men have told me. A Regenti, I believe.
Can you tell us more?
No, but I know someone who can. In exchange for the answer, my guild will be acquitted for any dues you think it owes for your assistance battling the Fae.
Fair enough.
And you will leave us out of your mire of politics.
As far as I can.
Her name is Amadea, and she is partial towards the Cleaver. She believes it was a special site in the times of the Dimenticate, and has been studying its contents for years now.
And she knows about the Regenti?
My men said they traveled to the lower levels of the ruins together.
For what?
I don't know.
The Rex of the Cacciatore not knowing the business of his own.
Amadea is of the Dieci.
And she operates freely within your territory?
There are special circumstances.
She bribed you.
You said you would leave me out of the mire.
So I did. Where is she now?
Further down in the ruins, I suspect. She was with us when the Kilgan attacked, but she didn't stay by our side.
I see. Then, with your permission.
Go, and consider our debt settled. May this be the last I see of the Spire's poison.
So Kilgan a Fae of Stone. And where's the one? Fabio. Braccontarius, men who lead from sequestered distant thrones often steer their people with thin reins. Their influence on those who need to inspire seldom galvanizes as it ought to. Men like Brecken, however, have come to understand that in order to stir within his people the motivation to not simply live but thrive, he cannot afford to be so remiss. Barking orders the backs of the men is insufficient. He must stand with them and lead them from the flank. It is this camaraderie that the leader of Cacciatore develops has allowed the Green Guild to be as strong as they are. Despite the fondness of solitude, under Brecken's leadership, the Cacciatore have managed to come together to survive, heartily I may add, in both the city and the wilderness. Thinking about the origins of the Cacciatore. Before I go anywhere, remember to actually upgrade. So Tidal Wall does damage. Sorale's Ward, he could get focus back. Sounds good. What can we do? That seems useful. Upgrades all my allies. Might be time to start another power, or can we could upgrade this. Increases the range of my attack by 15 meters. think I'm going to learn Atlas Ring though. I guess she's coming back. So I'll give her that for when she comes back.
I can't believe you just coerced the Rex of the Cacciatore.
I don't like it any more than you do, but any other way, and he wouldn't have let us stand upon his soil.
What I'd do to see this city free of its politics.
Hold on, sir.
What's the matter?
Are you going down into the ruins?
Yes? What's it to you?
A few of us were scouts, and we'd been deeper in the ruins when the Kilgan, the Fae, began attacking.
Well, you made it out alive. Good on you.
Not all of us. One of the scouts, Igoris, hasn't made it out yet. I was hoping...
I'll keep an eye out for him.
Thank you, sir.
It's probably our next party member. The ruins. Before the words Citte della Ombre had even crossed the minds of the settlers of the region, there were the ruins, large shattered monuments that hinted at a great kingdom that ruined the land in and around the shadow of the mountain Sierra Verde in the years long past. Within these gargantuan and mostly subterranean labyrinths hid mainly two things, both as wondrous and frightening as the other: Mascherines and Fae. The acquisition of the former and the banishment of the latter were key milestones in the growth and flourishing of the city. As the city grew and expanded, however, the ruins that had once been lauded as great mines of power slowly began to grow obsolete. Coin and politics began to appeal to the people of the lands as more suitable avenues of power, as the finite treasures of the ruins became more and more difficult to extract, and so the pieces of the already crumbling physical culture of an ancient civilization were walled off and mostly forgotten.
You think this Amadea can help us?
She better. If not, I don't know what other leads we have. We've got this!
Got another skill point from that fight. Won't spend it just yet, since we just did the spending thing.
Well, it seems that this is our ride down.
Tides. It looks unstable.
The best survivalists in all of Umber built this. It should support you. I hope.
Your faith in my weight is touching.
At least it's not a rusty ladder. Come on.
Here we are. The ruins proper.
None of these ruins are proper. Haven't been in millennia. Hold on.
What are they doing?
Blocking our way, that's what. Are you ready?
When you are.
Ready yourself. Seems like they were guarding this.
Cicero.
Do you remember the Fae in Raz's office?
Cicero.
The way they were guarding it reminds me of those in the glass.
Cicero!
What?
Put it down.
Let him...
Down. Step away. Don't follow me.
Let's follow her.
What just happened?
I'm not quite sure.
Do you think that's Amadea?
She was wearing the Dieci's colors. Muted, but definitely still the Dieci's.
Lead on, then.
So she's a Sicario. It's clear from the way she moves, nimble, alacritous, agile, and it surprises me considering she's from the Dieci. Well, nothing against the Opal Guild at all, but in all the city they are the least proficient in the Physica. I'd have expected her to be a dirge at least, or perhaps a practitioner of the Visiva. When we eventually catch up to her, might be interested in asking about her training. Another fact that surprises me is her ethnicity. Often those of the Dieci are of runic descent, but the girl has hair the colour of fire and freckled skin. Of course, having someone who's not ethnically runic as part of the Opal Guild is not unheard of, but is nonetheless surprising. I'd best continue my search.
Tides. This place is enormous.
Thankfully, the path is straight. Imagine how much work we'd have to do if it weren't.
Nice acknowledgement of the linearness of the map.
Watch your flank!
Oh, what a surprise.
How do you think she's dealt with all these Fae?
She's quick on her feet. I suspect she mostly runs.
And she's mighty fine at it, too.
Oh, got another Mascherine. Masquerine. Haven't yet found out how to decorate any of these. Okay. So you can just hold down the
Tides.
right key, it
The
seems.
mists are thick here, too.
Right mouse button.
All the Fae. Not surprising, is it?
Is that her?
Let's find out. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea.
You forced my hand.
Why are you following me?
Razatov Azrith. We know he's been coming here with you. We want to know why.
And if I tell you, will you leave me alone?
Depends if we need more details.
He and I were working out of one of the rooms, deeper in.
Can you take us to it?
Something's made the Kilgan in the area aggressive, and their behavior has put the artifacts of these ruins in danger.
What are you, some kind of curator? I'm sorry. We'll take care of the Kilgan, and you lead us to his work.
And then will we be done with one another?
If you wish.
Let's go.
Alright, some progress has been made at least. The woman, though she can be no more than a quarter century old, has allowed us to travel with her. I must say, for one belonging to the Dishes, she's cold. Often the members of the Opal Guild are boisterous and gregarious, but she is reserved and more than willing to coat her words in ice. She seems to want to have nothing to do with us as well, which any inspectorial will tell you is all the more reason to keep a suspect as involved as possible. Her interest in the ruins is rather peculiar. Internal perception is left intact. She has proven herself remarkably concerned about the bones of the Dementicati civilization. I understand I return to this notion continually, but every moment more I spend with her, the harder I find it to believe that she belongs to the Dieshi Sovrani. Its members would be willing to bring the entire ruin down if you paid them enough crescents. I do not believe I'm going to tease any answers out of her any time soon, however. She's made the terms of our engagement painfully clear. Help clear out the ruins of the Fae, and to bring us to where she and Razatov worked.
Oh, this pit's pretty.
Let me guess. The light comes from some ancient Dementicate technology that you've been studying.
No, that's just glowing moss.
Oh.
So, that cube you took from us, what is it?
I don't know.
Come now.
All I know is that it doesn't belong in your hands.
That's a harsh way to put it.
It doesn't belong in any of our hands. Just look at how the Fae guard it.
Curious behavior that was.
They're selective about what they protect. From my observations, they tend to be defensive about things that might have had some significance to the Dementicate. Weapons, statues, things like that.
You know a lot about that, don't you? Never mind then.
Yeah, so I can just hold the right mouse button down and move.
The first room is straight up ahead. There are truths in this world that we have yet to even glimpse. Truths that, if you knew anything about the Dementicate, you would know they were familiar with. There's much to be learned from studying the past.
Like how to lead a civilization to extinction?
Let's keep going, shall we?
The Dementicati and the Cataclysm. Time has been unkind to the Dementicati legacy. Knowledge about the society is scamped. Most of what survived are tales about their grand conquest, how they used their Mascherines to dominate the lands around them, how their empire swallowed and crashed over countless others, merciless in their expansion. That despite their seemingly unstoppable expansion, they met their end a little earlier than many think natural. The fall of the empire is believed to be sudden and severe. Not a single tale of sour days leading to the end has been found. It's all greatness and prosperity, and then nothing. This has led them to believe that the fall of Dementicate must have been precipitated by an apocalyptic event, catastrophic in scale, which they've called the Cataclysm. In modernity, the Dementicate and the spectacles of their time are rarely discussed. The minds of the modern Ombrian are far too filled with thoughts, lusts even, for blood and power and politics, for them to hold any space to care of the past. It's a pity, I'd say. For if they'd not been so deaf to the echoes of the songs that had once been sung, they might have realised just how many of the answers to their current conflicts lay in the forgotten cradle of the city. I assume we're now going back this way and then down here. It's a little bit inconsistent about whether it pops up a an exclamation or not. Bump, bump. everything's dead. Cool. Oh, I'd say this is the last scout.
He's gone.
This must have been the scout that Cacciatore mentioned.
Wait. Something's not right. His face. It's frozen.
This wasn't done by the Kilgan.
A water brand, then?
No!
Mask runners.
Damn it.
I'm guessing we should follow her then?
Well, the Regenti was right after all. He's got quick friends.
Where is he?
Get them!
Here they come!
Where did she go?
Damn it!
There.
Calvin. Amadeo, come on.
Everybody's always rushing off on me, it seems.
Where is he?
Damn it!
Tell me!
Enough! Ages.
I assume she's going to get squelched. Looks like it.
Here we go.
Get behind me.
Oh, more skill points. Excellent.
Where is the Regenti?
Lady, deliver me.
Answer me! Damn.
Here, look.
What is it?
Razatov's. I'm surprised it survived, considering what it went through.
How did you find this?
I thought I saw something moving in the rubble. A light or something. Turned out to be his journal. All's been charred save a single entry.
My instincts were right. Aechian Siun of the Air Noirth was the time when the god of the Dementicate, Breog, gifted them with the artifacts, the Treror. With them, the Dementicate expanded. The evidence of what the artifacts allowed them to do is all around us. Mascherines. Their god allowed them, taught them how to create Mascherines, using the 3 artifacts. And I know how to find them. He actually did it.
I believe our agreement has come to an end.
That's it?
What? You expected me to follow you?
It's not about following me. This is a breakthrough, Amadea. The very fabric of the city will unravel because of this.
Then go. Be excited.
I thought you'd want to be part of it.
Goodbye, Inspettori.
Goodbye.
$172. Tell me how I am supposed to explain our actions to the families of 172 of my people.
No. We have spoken about this before.
It is not enough. Telling them that the lady has better plans for them is not damn near enough. Where were you? Where was the lady when the portiere assaulted the Quiet Order? Why did she not give us a sign? Why did you leave us?
The answers are beyond your comprehension. You must have faith, Noel.
Then give it to me! Tell me why we are letting our people die.
We needed the Regenti. You were there when we took him. You were there when he told us about the cleaver, about the girl.
And after we learn about that, you choose to send my people in such small numbers, just like the Conoscenza. You refuse to listen to my plea for sending more.
Have faith, Noel.
I have had enough! You might have converted a few of my people to your religion, but you know that I still command their hearts. You have a day to make good on our bargain, Herald, or I will take my people and do it my way.
Mysterious.
Why didn't he tell me?
Perhaps he intended to, but didn't get the chance.
Ugh. If he spent days, weeks even, in those stupid ruins, why wasn't I informed? Can't believe I trusted such a fool with something so...
Razatov wasn't a fool.
No? Then why is he now in the hands of rebel scum?
He found what you told him to find. More even.
So where are the answers? What are your plans?
There's only one lead left.
The masked runners who have him.
They need to be contacted. A channel of communication needs to be set up.
And how are you intending to do that?
To Cicero Gavar of the Cavalli Fields, Hyacinth District. You have been summoned back to Ombre, the request of the Verone. Your exile will be revoked, and you will be granted a grand sum of 10,000 crescents, should you complete the business that awaits you. A pair of coach hands has been...
Get to your point.
The business was to find Razatov. I have found him. He is with the Masquerades.
20,000 if you bring him back.
Lucia has been working on a case involving the Masquerades. She should...
I will not accept this. You... When my rats in the Cavalli Fields told me that you'd gotten familiar with the bottom of tankards, I pulled a few strings, cut a few trade routes, terminated a few breweries.
Why would you do that?
Because you're better than that. You're better than the drunkard I kept reading about in all the reports from the fields. And you're better than this coward who wants to turn in an investigation just because it suddenly involves going to the mask runners. Yes, you made a mistake. And yes, that mistake cost you your brother's life, nearly cost you yours, and has cost me my city. But it was a mistake. And we are not defined by our mistakes. Cicero!
Let them burn. If I'm doing this, I'm not using some pathetic hand-me-downs. I'll make my own notes, thank you very much.
We flounce out of the room. So, Kaladin, I've been unkind to this man, more than necessary and far more than his behaviour is warranted. He travels with me, protects me in battle, looks out for my interests, pulls more than his share of weight, and yet he asks for nothing in return except to stay to help find Razatov, and to answer 3 questions about myself. In return, I cast suspicions over him and shun his efforts at reaching out. Ages I've been away from civilization so long that this is my response to hospitality. He still hides something, that much I'm certain. Perhaps I've been wrong to treat him with such wintry temperament. Umbra is a cold city with frozen marrow, but does not mean we should let the chill of its heart seep into our own. After all that's happened, after all we've discovered, I cannot say I'm unsurprised at Amadea's departure. For a woman who claims to be invested in the history of the past, it makes no sense that she would just take off like this. If she had other leads that we were willing to pursue, then perhaps I would be less surprised, but so much work has been destroyed. Where else does she plan to go? What else does she plan to do? It's frustrating, truly, that such a great resource has left us. It sounds callous indeed, I simply refer to her as such, but from the way she has behaved, I reckon she'd be glad I'd chosen such a word. She's intentionally kept as much of her heart out of this as possible, and I respect that decision. Let her leave her heart out. There must be some way at least to bring her head back into this. How many points we got? 4 points. We should probably do something then. Those upgrades are too much, that's fine. Speeds up the cooldowns on all these skills. Okay, so these others are still there. What's a passive skill? Increases damage reduction and threat generation. Sure, learn it. Still got one more ally to come, would appear. At least one more ally to come. So she's got lots of points left. What's her quick strike? 15 base damage and activating elemental tags. Sure. Oh, it's round to me again. Okay, cool. Done lots of upgrading. So she'll be back.
Where is the mariner?
He wanted to go to the Hall of Song, sir. Asked us to take him there while you went inside.
Well, take us there, please. I should speak with him. And hopefully catch up with an old friend, too. Really, Ricardo? One of these days you're going to have to sort these seats out.
Is something bothering you, sir?
There are papers everywhere.
Papers?
My brother does like his notes messy, sir.
Well, take it from me. You could... Hang on. Now, what's this?
What is what?
History of Medea. Summarized points.
Oh, sir, you weren't supposed to find that. Please just...
Another one. Calculus. Quite a few formulae. These are rather small for notes, aren't they?
What, Ricardo, are you...
Making a cheat sheet?
What? Oh, no, you're not... You're not going to report me, Inspectori, are you? I failed twice already.
Depends. If you can find me a place to stay for the night that's free from the mire of politics, I'll consider.
Really? Oh, well, all right then, sir. Prepare to be freed of the mire of politics, I mean.
One more thing, before you return.
Of course, sir.
If you would go back to the Cleaver and find Amadea, red hair tied into a braid, wearing Dieci clothes, shouldn't be too far from the ruins. Tell her or the registry, would like to speak to her.
We'll keep an eye out, sir.
So this will be the Mariner's base, I'm assuming, given the number of people in their costume. Or what looks like their costume.
Thank you, sisters. Orlana, will you please take the chime and place it where it belongs?
Actually, maybe it's a different...
Mirabas?
Cicero?
It's been a while.
Oh, Cicero, it is you. Come here. I never thought. Why have you returned?
Business, I'm afraid. I cannot speak too much of it.
I understand. But here? Have you come to listen to some songs?
No. A friend of mine should be here. A mariner.
I believe I heard some of my songstresses speaking of one. He should be somewhere atop the singing tree.
I'll find him. Thank you, Mirabas.
Ooh, lots of things have actually come up. I assume she's in person, she's in others. A few people in the world that my heart leaps at the thought of meeting, but Mirabas is one of them. She and I have a long history together that began the night she saved my life. Simply referred to her as the blind leader of the songstresses do her a disservice. She is more than capable despite her blindness and more than kind despite her place among the Masquerada. But do you think that due to her position of magnanimity she is incapable of darker things is also foolish? Mirabas' history is long and not without complication. She wasn't always blind and she wasn't also songstress. She doesn't often indulge in the telling of the two tales, and most of the city are too preoccupied with themselves to bother inquiring. But there are others who have nothing but time on their hands have been tempted to ask. When I'd first posed the questions about how she lost her sight and how she'd risen to her current position, I hadn't expected both questions to be answered in a single tale. It's a story too long to recount in these pages, besides its own sort of great loves and great losses. It's an epic story, trust me, we're just not going to tell you it. So through here, I'm guessing? Oh, yeah. Right there, in fact. First of all, info about the singing tree, and then up. Probably bring this to an end once I reach... Okay, so he's not up there then. He must be over here somewhere.
I'm sorry.
A strange choice of greeting.
That mask runner. If I hadn't done what I did, maybe she wouldn't have died.
She wouldn't have been the first mask runner you've killed.
It's not about me. If she was still alive, maybe she could tell us where my brother is. Or where to find the artifacts.
You heard.
And learning how to create Mascherines again is huge, I know. But somehow, compared to finding my brother, I say that I'm scared for him. But in the end, it is I that undermines our progress to find him. Razatov is that much further away now.
5 years ago, I was put on an investigation that led me to discover that my brother had been siphoning Mascherines out of the Hall of Bearings. I didn't join him in the endeavor, obviously, but I let him go. When the registry found out, and word spread, the consensus at the time was that I had to be punished. Death by hanging was the easiest option, to remind the others what awaited them should they ever place their hearts above their duty. It was your brother that sacrificed much of his clout to negotiate the terms of my punishment. He managed to reduce it from a death sentence to one of exile. Your brother saved my life, Calden.
I didn't know that.
We'll get him back, Calden. On your Mariner's moon. I'll promise that.
Thank you.
We seem to have a lot of people to whom we owe our life. Okay, I think I'll get to the next autosave. Oh, there's another.
Calden?
Tides.
Who is that?
Calden!
Please, Orlana.
Every marshal that I've spoken to says that you knew him well.
Calden, who is this?
Inspectore, my name is Orlana Corveo, songstress of the Hall of Songs and sister of Jax's Corveo.
Orlana, do not involve the Inspectore, please.
I had once tried asking the registry for assistance, but they turned me aside. Perhaps you will be kinder.
Orlana, you must move on.
How? My brother is dead, and I know not why or how, and the only lead I have refuses to answer my questions.
There is nothing to answer.
And so I approach an Inspectore, who certainly could do a better job than I.
Cicero, we have no time for this.
Let the Inspectore...
Jaxus is gone, and no amount of investigating is going to bring him back to the shores of life. He would want you to move on.
But please...
Orlana.
Calden.
A shadow of my past. We should go.
Many in the city seem to think songsters are instrumental and isolated. Sometimes reminders they have histories involve the other members of society come as a surprise, such as the case with Orlana Corveo. She's not a songstress I'm familiar with, but evidently she shares some sort of history with Calden that involved her brother Jaxus. I'm concerned to say the least. I hope this does not affect your investigation, but being as familiar with the movement events in the city, I haven't got a very optimistic prognosis. Okay, I think we will call it there. Seems like a reasonable place to take a break. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I will be back with more at some point.